Uh, Hi, Corwin Coe, CEO of Sitka Gold, and today I'm here to discuss the newest exciting results that come from Nevada with you. And the one thing to start off with is really the question, when are we allowed to talk about a discovery? Is a discovery happening already when you prove your model, which you have done, that this may be Carlin style, a Carlin style, mineralization, or is it only when you have assays back from the lab, which is going to be in another 3 to 4 weeks? So with that, why don't I just pass it over to you and you start giving us the background on this, what I refer to as being a systematic discovery in Nevada.
Well, that's exactly what it is, Sven. It's a systematic discovery. The model, the geological concept has been proven to be correct. And as you know, it started from the first deep hole that we drilled there.
Yes.
And the information from that hole enabled us to pinpoint a shallower area for this lower plate limestone unit to be present.
Yes.
And so staking those claims, getting the permits and drilling those 2 holes, like you say, it's a step-by-step process. And by drilling those 2 holes and intersecting the target zone in both, we've proved up that model. Carlin type mineralization is present. It's not like a question of whether it's there or not. It is present.
Yes.
The question is, what will the gold values be?
Yeah.
So
exactly. Yes.
So it's not like we're scratching our head wondering if we have Carlin style mineralization. We do. It's exactly what we have, and it is in the target zone. The Devil's Gate limestone unit contact with the web contact there. So
yes.
So there's no doubt about that. A discovery is a discovery. There's 2 different things here. One is the discovery of the lower plate limestone unit being preserved there at a shallow depth. The other discovery is if the gold content's there with it. Then you have a gold discovery.
Absolutely, I get it. I think we need to take it one step back because there's a lot of, let's say, givens or that things that you take for granted that I think most people would not know. But I think we could take the opportunity and do a more systematic approach on this Nevada discovery, on this Nevada, let's say, exploration program that actually was brought on its way 3 years ago. That's what people tend to forget, right? Everybody is about instant gratification, but this was a vectoring into our current holdings of claims that took actually 3 years, and the first drill hole was only drilled late last year and was, from a superficial reading, deemed to be not a success. But what it provided you was a lot of structural geological information that made you move up, and I think that is just really incredible thinking about it. 8 kilometers away from where you drilled, because your geologist basically concluded that that is where this limestone horizon should be appearing closer to surface. And sure enough, at the second drill hole of this year's campaign, that's exactly where you hit the right structure, just 70, 73, 74 meters below surface. And that is, for Nevada, I guess, pretty shallow. I have a map here. I'm not sure whether this is a good one. This is probably the best one, right? Because it shows the Cortez trend as such. And it shows the 2 alpha, let's say, claims. That's the one you started with on the bottom, and then that's how you moved up to the northwest, where you were currently drilling 2 holes. First hole gave you more structural information and made you move up another 750 meters to where you actually drilled. Correct?
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah, and obviously we're on trend with let's say insignificant let's say mines or mineral deposits like Red Hill, 15 million ounces. Gold Rush, do you know on top of your head how much that has?
No, I'm not going to give you a number there because I might be wrong. So
yeah. Anyways,
I just know that those four pretty much tally up to 50 million ounces.
Yes, exactly. And I think Red Hill and Gold Rush are being operated by Barrick, correct?
That's my understanding, yes.
Yes, and I think to the south of where you are now, Alpha, that's where Kinross has a land holding, correct?
That's right. They're on our southern border.
Anyways, also Kinross must be there for a reason. They probably had similar ideas about where this prolific and limestone horizon might occur. That is the host of all of those big deposits, really, because I think that's something you take it for a given, but I had to learn it, and I think most people need to understand how different these types of deposits are from vein-hosted deposits. They are not vein-hosted, but they are Carlin style, which is a disseminated gold style, which has been basically pushed into and disseminated widely into this sedimentary limestone that occurs across that Cortez Trend.
Well, I would say that that's all correct what you're saying there. One thing I want to make clear here is that I'm not the expert geologist when it comes to Carlin style deposits. That's Scott's.
Yes, you're working with a very experienced geology on the ground, obviously, as you currently couldn't even go there to the US because of COVID, correct?
That's correct, yeah. It's not very easy to travel right now. And if we do get to go down there, we need to quarantine for 2 weeks when we come back to Canada. It's just not an acceptable way. And our technical team down there, including Scott Price, we're very comfortable with what he's doing, and we take our guidance from him on all of this, whether it's staking the other claims or where to drill the holes. That's his expertise, is Carlin type mineralization, deposits, and structural geology. And this is one thing that has to be emphasized, is that it's a very complex structural setting that we're dealing with, that entire Cortez Trend. Yes. And understanding that is the key to success. And this is where Scott's been very good at using the information we get from that deep drill hole, applying it to what he's seeing on the surface, and moving the target area. So it's just fantastic that we do have that mineralization, and you're correct, it's disseminated. What's happened there is that these mineralized solutions, hydrothermal solutions, they attack the limestone unit there. And so you end up with this karst setting where buggy holes everywhere and a lot of precipitation of sulfides and silicification. And this is the signature of your Carlin type deposit. It can be very massive, obviously, because it's in a sedimentary unit there that goes for, kilometers and kilometers. So
yeah, I'm just trying to pull up the news release, because I think that shows it even better than the presentation that I have here. Let me just stop here and restart to go to the actual news release, because that really is showing where you drill, right? This
yeah, that's
red,
right.
This what is it? Is it this the one desirable horizon that you're let's say that you're chasing is which one? Is the Devil's Gate limestone? It's a DDG. Is that the one?
That's right. Yeah.
So
it's the contact of that with the web formation.
Okay. Okay.
That's where these solutions, they come up, and it's basically an impermeable layer there, and so they hang around there a long time, and they eat away at the limestone, and they end up with this intense alteration where you get this silicification and the karst environment.
Yeah. Okay, when you say at the contact with the web formation, that's a shale, that's what you refer to being a shale cap above that limestone. Is that?
Yeah, basically you could call it that. Yeah, it's a much less permeable layer,
yes.
stratigraphic layer.
Yeah.
And so that's the reason these hydrothermal solutions hang around for a while, because they can't migrate that easily through that.
And also, after being formed, they can't be easily leached away. Okay, as well.
That's correct. That's
so correct. Basically, that shale cap is a signature of those successful Carlin style discoveries. And if we were to go back to the Red Hill, for example, the formation geologically would be the same, although it's probably called differently. But it's actually, its origin is the same. It's that sedimentary limestone which used to be kept by this shale cap. Anyways, what is a 70-meter deep? I think on this in the next news release, you basically expanded your land holding, you doubled your land holding strategically, and I probably should pull that up as well. Just looking at it as we speak. Where is it? Okay, here it is, land package in Nevada. Yeah, I'm just pulling it up. Okay, here we go. So that's the 2 holes that you drilled, and I think the second one is the one that you're really happy about, which hit the target zone just 70 meters down, and it's, I think the target itself, the limestone ran for over 60 meters. So why did you stake this adjacent ground, and why in this direction and not over here, for example?
Well, first of all, that AG 21-02.
It's the third.
This is the third one. That
yes.
Both of those hit the target area. The AG 21-03 had much more intense alteration, and it's concluded that that's because it's further up towards the apex of the fold.
I see.
So again, the solutions are trapped in there, and yeah. So they have time to do their thing. Staking the other ground is to do with the structural interpretation that Scott has made. Don't want to really go into that too much. It's kind of proprietary,
I get it. Okay. So, but in theory, your assumption is that this limestone horizon obviously is not cut off anywhere soon. It should run, actually it could run for kilometers. We just don't know where it actually gets subdued and disappears towards a deeper area, basically.
Well, Scott's very comfortable that we've covered the ground that would be highly prospective for this deposit. Yeah.
So what's the next, let's say, scenario in terms of drill results? 3-4 weeks away.
Yeah, the samples are at the lab. Okay, yes. So it's in their hands right now, and they're telling us that 3 to 4 week period, and that was last week. So
good.
Well, I think we're going to get the results this coming month, probably towards the end of the month. Yeah. And based on those results, we will determine how aggressive we're going to follow up with this.
Yes.
And part of that will be, we're already permitted to put another 3 drill holes into this area, but we have 10 drill holes permitted on the original Alpha property that we can amend and add to this area if everything goes as planned. So.
Yeah, but I think it's important to note that the concept of a drill program on a target like this is not like you wouldn't start narrow spaced. You would probably be bold and be able to step out 100 meters each side at least, because the likelihood that this limestone horizon will just continue is really high, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like if you look between those two drill holes, I mean that is the target zone there. And yeah. what you want to do is you want to tailor your drilling to favor more of the apex of that fold system. And so figuring out how that strike orientation is how you're going to plan your drill hole. So again, Scott's got a pretty good idea what's going on there now, and there's no doubt that he can track that for who knows how long. It just like I say, it's complex structural geology, but he's now got a good handle on it, obviously, and there's lots of room for a major deposit there. And keep in mind, you know, you go to the Gold Strike open pit deposit there. Yes. You can superimpose that onto these claims and still have lots of breathing room around you. So it's not a small area as far as
agreed.
Having a deposit.
Yeah. By the way, you and Scott, how long have you been going back together? How did you meet, and what's Scott's story?
Scott, he's a very senior, experienced geologist. He's worked internationally, but his residence is in this area out of Elko, Nevada. So this is his expertise. Although he has worked at places like the Pebble deposit in Alaska. When we formed Sitka Gold through a common associate, we met Scott, and he introduced us to this area. And so that's how this evolved. So we go back to like 2016, 5 years.
Okay.
And he's the one that identified this area and brought us into it, and said, this is what I'm seeing here. We were obviously very convinced, being geologists ourselves, Don Penner and myself.
Yes. And
so move forward with it.
Yeah. Well, you know, this is amazing, and we'll see in a short while what the results are. If they carry gold, I think it's fair to say that the stock has lots of room, lots of upside. During the math, I think the current market cap hovers around $20 million, and if you deduct the cash currently, it's the enterprise value, it might be just 15 million or something. So you know, if this is a discovery, turns out to be a discovery, as we said earlier, and it is a structurally controlled gold target, which could run for quite a considerable length and width, then wow, it's going to be an amazing ride for the company, just based on this one asset. I think we should call it for today. I know that we could also go on talking about the Yukon asset, gold asset, which is actually further along in the discovery trajectory, but I think we should just leave it focused on this Nevada play for the time being, because I think that will take most of the attention in the near term.
Sven, exactly. Right now, we're like everybody else, we're waiting for the assays, and to know that just up the trend from us, you know, there's a 15 million ounce deposit there.
Yes.
That grades about 4 grams per ton.
Yes.
And they have sections, drill hole sections there that are over an ounce, you know, like 20 meters of over 30 grams. So these can be rich systems, and they can be big. And obviously for us, we're looking at this and going, well, this is what we wanted to see.
Yes.
And now we have to wait for the assays, but very excited about it.
Absolutely. Sure. I guess in your 35, 40-year career as a geologist, is this maybe one of the most exciting, if not the exciting, you know, plays that you were involved in?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. For when you're dealing with something that is brand new, that's
Yes.
never had a drill hole in it, that's in the richest real estate in the world.
Yes.
Or second richest. It's just unbelievable to me that we have the opportunity to
Yeah.
actually explore something from the grassroots on up. And
yeah. And it's interesting, you know, we talked at a different time, and you said Barrick actually tried to test this earlier, but they obviously, you know, hit it where they went to a space where the structure was already leached away. So they did not find what you just found, which is interesting. And it's not surprising. Kinross is your neighbor. All the big, you would have assumed that the big ones, companies probably should have researched that ground already.
Well, I think that's why Kinross is in the area. But again, you know, you can only go by the information you have. And drilling that deep hole, although we didn't hit our target zone, we got a lot of information from that. We got the information that the lower plate is there, you know, that the formations are intact, and utilizing that information to move us to where we are right now.
Yeah.
In the news release, it talks about some surface geochem to the northwest.
Mm-hmm. That's
part of this lower plate limestone unit signature. Now, drilling that, they because they were drilling where it had eroded on the surface. Yeah, they weren't in that unit in their drill hole, and this is all this information together is what brought us to the area that we're in. Yeah. So, from a geological point of view, these drill holes are all valuable, and it's part of exploration that you go step by step like this.
No, I like it because it's such a systematic approach. You vectored into this target. It's not a lucky punch, but you had very good reasons to drill these holes at just those locations, and you even moved up or down to the third hole here, and sure enough, hit what you believe is the apex of a system. And by the detailed description of the limestone or the altered limestone, it really suggests that there has been some let's say mineralization event, severely mineralized event has happened, and it's just now up to getting the assay results back, and then we'll know. And if they are, as you and I hope, then, you know, this is not going to be a $20 million stock anymore. That's for sure. Yeah,
I agree. I agree totally, Sven.
Yeah. Anyways, thanks, Coe, for this. We should keep it short and rather have another conversation at another time. I think this is lots of stuff to be talked about ongoing. And I'll do more homework on other deposits in the area, like Red Hill, for example, and then eventually we'll be able, hopefully, to do a better comparison.
That sounds good, Sven.
Okay, thank you so much, and
thank you.
We'll talk more. Thank you. Bye bye.